Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. The healing process was much faster than I think everybody expected. Just because, like I said, I those I was sick of those teeth anyway. You know, so I just got rid of them, and then got some implants put in. And honestly, the healing process was like really quick.
I don't see anybody beating him.
I like Khamzat too. I think he's been really incredible.
Yeah, definitely. He looked better in the last fight. Obviously, it didn't last long, so we didn't get to see it. But normally, he's like Crash Bandicoot the first round, and then his energy dips.
DDP has been interesting though.
I feel like Dricus is very underrated for a belt holder here.
But that's the thing. If anybody was to, it would be Dricus, because that is the muscular endurance. If you look at like some of the fights nowadays, Mirab, Dricus, these guys that have the muscular endurance to be fighting at 7.
Robert Whittaker recently spoke with Ariel Helwani and broke down the injury he suffered during his bout with Khamzat Chimaev. It was a brutal one, Whittaker said, a physically exhausting and mentally infuriating one. But the Reaper wanted fans to know that he's making good strides and incrementally getting back to where he wants to be. He said light training has picked back up, and while full contact work remains a no-go, he's optimistic for a late-year return. Whittaker wanted to stress the patience of recovery and appears laser beam-like in getting back to championship-level action again.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. The healing process was much faster than I think everybody expected. Just because, like I said, I was sick of those teeth anyway. You know, so I just got rid of them, and then got some implants put in. And honestly, the healing process was like really quick.
When the conversation turned to a possible battle between Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev, Whittaker hesitated not a little love for the reigning champ here. He dissected it sensibly, highlighting DDP's clunky but constricting style, his pressure-oriented game, and his capacity to adjust in the middle of a fight. Whittaker feels those weapons can tire out Chimaev. He emphasized Dricus's 5-round durability and capacity for enduring deep waters, saying that if the fight gets dirty, it would become an easy ride for DDP against the explosive but untested Chimaev.
Dricus survives. Dricus is just good at surviving, at being there. And if we've seen anything with Chimaev, is that he gets tired committing so heavily to his shot and the grappling transitions early in the fight. So maybe that plays out differently.
Jamahal Hill seconded Whittaker's opinion and chose Dricus du Plessis confidently too. Hill has a lot of respect for Khamzat's ruthlessness, but believes DDP's calmness and tenacity make him a complete threat. According to Hill, Dricus may not appear clean technically, but he takes apart fighters piece by piece.
I probably favor DDP in that one, just for the simple fact of I've doubted this dude so many times now, and he's shut me up bad every time. So, and I've come to understand like how his posture kind of works, which it may look like he's like fatiguing or he's like slowing down, but he's really not. You know, I think he's got the better cardio.
He continued that Khamzat hasn't actually shown himself in a proper war, whereas DDP has consistently demonstrated that he excels at the mayhem. Hill feels that if the bout goes beyond round 2, DDP will start to take control.
I believe can pose a problem for anybody in that division. And we've seen Khamzat fade. We've seen Khamzat fade over the course of rounds before. And I just believe Dricus has a really, really awkward way of throwing strikes that's not easy to time and get a read on. So I believe he will land, and when he lands, it's obviously has devastating effect. So I probably lean more towards DDP.
Tim Welch, coaching ex-UFC bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley, also supported du Plessis in this possible fight. Welch prioritized Dricus's toughness and capacity to keep pressing forward despite adversity. He discussed how DDP uses pace and disorder to his benefit. Welch's analysis indicated that Khamzat could have trouble once that initial tempest is ridden out, particularly if Dricus takes him deep into rounds. Welch complimented Dricus's unconventional striking rhythms and relentless grappling affairs, expecting Khamzat's gas tank and mental constitution to be subjected to greater pressure than ever before.
I feel like he is going to be able to weather the storm the first 2 rounds and then start taking off the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, taking over. What do you think?
Yeah, I do too. I'm so curious about this fight because, you know, obviously I've studied DDP a bunch. And we've actually become good friends during that time. Like
he's a cool fucker.
He's a cool fucker, dude. Like super respectful, nice guy. He's very well coached. But when you watch him, like from when he fought Brad Tavares until now as a champion, just his overall development in between that time, I mean, he's jumped leaps and bounds in between that Brad fight to now being world champion. And I think that development for him, he really understands what he's trying to accomplish in there.
Michael Venom Page provided a more even analysis, but ultimately favored Khamzat Chimaev. MVP conceded the momentum and champ credentials of DDP, but stated Chimaev's explosive athleticism and wild unpredictability present severe issues. He highlighted the way Khamzat can cover ground in a hurry and combine his wrestling with rash strikes to make him a danger to anyone, particularly early in a bout. While he didn't entirely rule out DDP's prospects, MVP eventually believes that if Khamzat arrives razor sharp and in attack mode, he might shut the fight down before a war of attrition.
I don't see anybody beating him.
I like Khamzat too. I think he's been really incredible.
Yeah, definitely. He looked better in the last fight. Obviously, it didn't last long, so we didn't get to see it, but normally he's like Crash Bandicoot the first round, and then his energy dips.
DDP has been interesting though.
I feel like Dricus is very underrated for a belt holder here.
But that's the thing. If anybody was to, it would be Dricus, because that is the muscular endurance. If you look at like some of the fights nowadays, Mirab, Dricus, these guys that have the muscular endurance to be fighting at 70.
Khamzat's old trainer laid thick accolades on his former student. He referred to Chimaev as one of the most disciplined and ruthless athletes he has ever trained. He spoke of Khamzat's relentless training regimen, circling the cage hours a day, no time off, no shortcuts. In his estimation, Khamzat doesn't only fight like a beast, he trains like one as well. He spoke of how Khamzat loves competition and always aims to improve, to get better, faster, stronger. That is what, he says, sets Chimaev apart and makes him a legitimate threat to the title.
He practices hard, he goes hard, and I think that I liked it. I liked having him, and I really liked having Darren Till with him. Like, Till was a fucking badass. Like,
good energy too.
Great energy. They all fit in right away. They weren't trying to take over. They were there to complement the practices and complement the team. I really liked having Khamzat in there, and a lot of like learning just when you sit back and watch some of his rides that he does, and the way that he anchors on guys, the way he blends his level changes into his striking, his switch stance series stuff. It's all very systematic to his style. I think he understands his routes very well, and it was a joy to watch. I think we learned a lot from him. Took a lot of the things that he does well and applied it to like Jeremy Kennedy's style of grappling. So having a guy like that in the room, like, you'd be an idiot not to like learn from,
stealing some tricks and
exactly
stuff.
This battle has made everyone's attention, beginning with Joe Rogan, who never hesitated to throw his complete support for Khamzat Chimaev. Rogan lauded Khamzat's dynamite style, top-level wrestling, and brute aggression, terming him a nightmare opponent for anybody in the division, including du Plessis.
He's got very good jiu-jitsu. He hits fucking hard, and he's a big, durable dude. But I don't know if he's going to be able to wrestle with that guy. Like, I don't know, man. The Khamzat's skill is so high level, it makes me wonder. It's like, there's some guys, like, you see it in jiu-jitsu. There's some guys that look really good until they fight somebody who's really, really good. And then they get manhandled. It's like everybody looks good until they face Gordon Ryan. Like, Gordon Ryan can do that to anybody. Like, is Khamzat at that level? Well, it kind of appears that he is. It appears that he's, in terms of, like, the grappling that he possesses, seems magnitudes greater than anybody else in his division.
He pointed out how Chimaev's unpredictability and pressure might push DDP deep into the waters early. For Rogan, it's not just a title bout, it's the start of what might be Khamzat's reign.
You can have athleticism, you can have strength, but when you come up against someone whose skill is far superior to yours, eventually you're going to burn out, because there's only a finite amount of strength and power that you have got. And eventually, if you're fighting somebody who can match you physically, but also has the skill on top of it, I mean, you're kind of done.
Darren Till is firmly backing Khamzat Chimaev for his fight against du Plessis. He pointed out Khamzat's amazing skills, ferocity, and ability to dictate the tempo of the fight.
If I went back to the UFC now, as the middleweight I could be, I'd fucking tear that Dricus' head off. Tell Dricus I said fuck him, by the way. The little fucking gobshite. Because I can't stand his guts, because he's so shit, he's so good.
You think he beats Khamzat, your boy?
No, look, I'm with respect, I'm never going to look past Dricus, because he trains hard, he He's super dedicated, he's super strong, and he's got that awkward style that doesn't make any sense. I think Khamzat will beat him inside the 2 rounds. I really do believe that, but look.
Till feels these are the characteristics that make Chimaev a viable threat in the fight. His support contributes to the increasing hype and anticipation surrounding the contest as fans anticipate how these two will combat each other within the cage. This support only spurs anticipation for what is set to be an intense struggle.
Khamzat knows. I was speaking to Khamzat on the FaceTime the other day because I'm meant to be going out to Dubai to help with the camp. Khamzat knows it's a tough fight, but you know, Khamzat saying he's like a beast. I do think Khamzat gets it in 2 rounds done. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, you're looking svelte. You're looking great. How much are you weighing right now?
Everyone's been saying that, you know, that I'm looking fabulous.
Yeah, you are.
Ariel, let's just go. Do I look fabulous?
I think you look fabulous. The teeth are just like blinding me. I wish I was wearing sunglasses right now, but you're looking fit. Way fitter than the last time, right?
While Khamzat Chimaev is the obvious favorite coming into the fight, there has been controversy over his conditioning, and MMA insiders are questioning whether he will be able to keep up his pace. Chael Sonnen has noted that stamina may prove a determining factor, particularly against a tough opponent like Du Plessis. De Ridder, who has sparring experience against both men, offered his opinion on the matter by noting that Khamzat is likely to set the pace early with relentless takedowns and pressure.
De Ridder has trained with both of them. Now that's very interesting to me. And it's very hard to get anybody to talk about those workouts, which by the way, he didn't do. He did not tell us how he did with Dricus. He did not tell us how he did with Chimaev, and I wish that he would have. But he did use himself as a middleman to make a comparison between those two. That's very, very interesting.
De Ridder cautioned, however, that Khamzat's conditioning could slow down as the bout wears on, potentially putting the advantage in Du Plessis' favor in subsequent rounds. This commentary adds a strategic aspect to the fight, making it more than a battle of ability and brute force. The question is, can Khamzat keep his level of intensity and strength up, or will Du Plessis take advantage of any wearying? Either way, conditioning may be the determining factor here in this much-hyped fight.
There's going to be an early storm by Chimaev, but he believes Dricus can sustain the storm, and each passing minute favors Dricus. Now, what he's talking about there, without going into detail, is conditioning. That's what he's talking about, that he thinks that Chimaev's energy gonna go down a little bit.
Michael Bisping also commented on the conditioning issues around Khamzat Chimaev. He was in agreement that Khamzat's skill and ferocity are unquestionable, but emphasized the role of stamina in such a high-stakes bout. Bisping noted that Du Plessis' style, if a little unorthodox or gangly, is very effective, particularly in the latter rounds when opponents begin to exhaust themselves.
And that's essentially what he's been doing, and that's why I understand the bookies have him as the favourite, and they probably think he's going to do that to Dricus Du Plessis. But I'm telling you, Dricus Du Plessis is gigantic for a middleweight as well. He's a very, very strong guy. He's got great jiu-jitsu. He's got excellent conditioning. Now, the conditioning is going to be key for Khamzat because moving up to 185, the conditioning will be improved. The strength will be improved. He can take on more nutrients. He can recover better between training sessions. I don't know why everyone doesn't move up a weight class. I said this on a video yesterday, and I'm saying it again right now. Everyone just move up a weight class, okay? The sport will be better. And do you know what we do? We add a cruiserweight weight class.
In Bisping's opinion, this fight will be as much about endurance and strategy as it is about technique or power. If Khamzat is going to win convincingly, improving his cardio and keeping up his speed level throughout the bout will be essential. Bisping's critique provides an added level to the build-up, reminding viewers that physical conditioning will be a key to the fight's determination.
225 pounds, so the light heavyweights can move up as well. I think that is the answer to all of these problems. The fighters will recover, they will feel better, they won't get injured, they won't be pulling out, and we're going to get better fights where people are going for it and they can take better shots and land better shots. Anyway, since he's come up to 185, Khamzat Chimaev is looking great, okay? But I'm just saying, against Dricus Du Plessis, this guy's not easy to fight, okay? People talk about this herky-jerky offbeat rhythm, and he does have kind of a unique style. But you cannot say that this is not effective.
Henry Cejudo explained another significant challenge for Khamzat Chimaev: opponents who are unwilling to remain grounded after being taken down. Opponents such as Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman challenged Khamzat by continually trying to get up instead of simply grappling on the ground. Cejudo explained,
Khamzat Chimaev, he put it on Robert Whittaker. Worse than what I thought he was able to do. He proved me wrong. Yeah, I put my foot in my mouth. I'm thinking Robert Whittaker is going to scramble, get up. Khamzat Chimaev did easy work. Nobody has ever done that to Robert Whittaker. But that being said, DDP, Dricus du Plessis, that brings in the grappling, that necessarily doesn't have the best hands, but the fact that he brings in the grappling and that he likes to scramble and he doesn't stay on bottom and he's looking to get up, that's what makes that fight, to me, problematic for a guy like Khamzat Chimaev.
This constant attempt to get back up derails Khamzat's game plan and brings out possible weaknesses in his strategy. Cejudo's observation points out that Khamzat has to adjust to fighters who switch up their game and do not just tap out against ground control, and this becomes an important consideration in his future fights.
Usman, who was a late replacement at the time, and it was a close fight. It was 2-1 Khamzat. For sure we'll give it to him. But as we saw that third and the way that Kamaru took it, you almost kind of start to wonder, what if Kamaru did have more time? And what if this fight was 5 damn rounds? I mean, think about it, guys. 5 more rounds. How's that you would see a guy like Khamzat Chimaev, because he's never been tested. The time that he was tested was against Gilbert Burns.
Cejudo told Khamzat to take it easy, save his energy early, and put emphasis on cardio so that he has power in the later rounds. Strategic breathing and intelligent striking were important, he said, to prevent burnout, keeping Khamzat explosive and dominant for rounds 3, 4, and 5.
I see Khamzat Chimaev. I see this fight happening. I don't see an injury. When typically one thing happens one time, the likelihood of that happening a second time, it's very, very slim. But to go back to Khamzat Chimaev against DDP, I just don't know if those championship rounds, the fact that Khamzat has not been there in those championship rounds, could affect him. Like I've done probably more championship rounds, 5 rounders, than I have on the three round fights. And I tell you what, by the time the 3rd round hits, 4th, 5th, that's when these championship rounds really take place. It's from the 4th on 5th, but really the investment is done in the 3rd, and the championship rounds, you win the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and this is how you become a champion.
These doubts fueled uncertainty surrounding Khamzat's stamina, and many users preferred DDP in the next fight. Sean Strickland was one of the earliest to support du Plessis, lauding DDP's toughness and strategic mindset. Strickland emphasized the fact that DDP can take advantage of the weaknesses of his opponents, particularly those who struggle with conditioning, making him a formidable force as the bout continues. This increasing momentum fueled DDP versus Khamzat's hype and unpredictability.
Did you see DDP and Khamzat got announced?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Where's it gonna be at?
Chicago.
Oh, maybe they're letting the Harrison.
Do you think he beats DDP, or do you think DDP retains?
You know, it's hard. So those little Chechen, dude, they can grapple. And like someone like me, who I've been training with for years, I usually could counter wrestle and grapple him. So I just don't know if Dricus can be able to counter wrestle him. But if he can, I think he wins all hands down. I sparred Chechen, but hands down, I think Dricus wins. But it's just gonna come down to like, are you gonna be able to like counter wrestle? And like you can, it's not hard.
As the limelight started turning towards DDP as a genuine threat, MMA legend Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson was one of the first to support du Plessis, admiring his well-rounded abilities and cool head in pressure situations.
I think DDP beats him.
I think he could, and I am leaning that way.
Yeah.
But now I'm real.
Yeah.
You know, I also want DDP to win, but I'm leaning towards DDP.
Yeah.
Because I think the idea of Chimaev is a round 1 guy.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. If he takes out DDP in round 1,
if
he's got him.
This is my hot take. If Chimaev cannot get him down,
he will. But yeah.
But let's say he does get him down.
Yep.
And he doesn't finish him, right?
Johnson highlighted DDP's ability to adapt mid-fight and withstand intense pressure, making him a tough opponent for anyone. This growing support added even more intrigue to the matchup, suggesting that DDP could capitalize if Khamzat's conditioning falters.
I think he's spent. Because you look at his fights. You look when he fought Gilbert Burns, when he fought Kamaru Usman. He had Kamaru Usman fully fucking mounted, back hooks and everything, right?
Yep.
Working for the choke, pounding him, could not finish him.
Couldn't get him.
The rest of the time, he could not find it was shadow boxer. Granted, he might be sick or whatever.
Yep.
But if he cannot figure it out within those first 2 rounds, or the first round he gets him down, I think DDP is gonna do what he does best. Yep. He's gonna be awkward. He's gonna be do the kicks, and I think DDP is going to beat.
In reply to Mighty Mouse's forecast, MMA Guru outlined a comprehensive battle strategy for du Plessis. He underscored that DDP would have to put relentless pressure, dictate the tempo, and take advantage of Khamzat's conditioning vulnerabilities. Guru believes du Plessis' mixed striking with takedown defense will be the key to nullifying Khamzat's offense and earning the victory.
If DDP shoots on him, there's a moment in Chimaev's head where he goes, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's not this killer in a fight.
Yeah.
He's asking a question. He's on my hips.
Yeah.
And if he sprawls it, if he gets the whizzer and throws DDP over, and why did DDP do that? Now DDP can go, well, I'm going for a leg.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a leg. See how he deals with this.
Yep.
I'm going to get guard back.
Yep.
I'm going to see if I can elbow him off bottom position. It's much easier to survive in guard than it is for someone to have
side control
with their body lock, and they can punch you, especially now with knees, and you can't play the hand game. Don't get caught up.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in those positions.
Chael Sonnen, ever the strategist, alluded in a subtle way to DDP's support without affirmatively stating it. He commended du Plessis' toughness, fight IQ, and ability to improvise under pressure. Qualities Sonnen feels will put him in a winning position against Khamzat.
And I will share with you, if you asked me about that fight 2 years ago or a year ago or even 6 months ago, I would have quickly dismissed it and told you Chimaev. I would tell you Chimaev every single round. But I don't feel that way anymore. I feel and I'm seeing what other people are feeling and seeing. Now, if that fight approaches, we'll do an actual breakdown and make a prediction. That's not what I'm doing right now, but I will tell you that the greatness of Dricus, while being a slow drip, it is something that is now not only witnessed, but recognized.
His diplomatic but unequivocal support lent momentum to the mounting perception that DDP's intelligent, calculated approach could prove to be the secret to beating the younger, more physical upstart in what's shaping up to be an electrifying battle.
That is now not only witnessed, but recognized by the industry, and he did it in a very short period of time. And if you really want to be a student of the game, the Dricus du Plessis story is a very important one to study.
Thanks for watching. This bout is looking like a total war in the octagon. If you like this analysis, hit the like button, subscribe, and the bell so you never miss out on the newest MMA news. Leave your fight picks in the comments below. Who do you have winning? Tune in for more exclusive analysis and fight breakdowns.